Hello and welcome back, everybody, to this episode of the Remembrancers Library podcast. I'm Vincent.
I'm Ethan.
And today we are picking back up on our Primarch's bunch of episodes here. I don't know, a mini-series?
Yeah, the Primarch mini-series is going on in this whole thing.
The Primarch arc.
The Primarch arc.
There
the
we
Primarch.
Go. The Primarch.
Yeah.
The Prime arc.
The Prime arc, yes.
Not to be confused with Ball Prime.
Yes.
Yep.
Ball Prime. My favourite Transformer.
As you may have remembered from our last episode about Sanguinius.
We could call it the pre-heresy era, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, so moving right along.
Bim.
Okay, today we are picking up on now the second half of the Primarchs.
Yes, now the second half. Yeah, this is where a quick one. This is where stuff really goes downhill.
Yeah.
If you look at the list of the Primarchs, like after the Lion, you'll notice there's a lot of Chaos Primarchs.
Right.
There's a lot of traitor Primarchs. I think for a period of...
Well, I mean, as you go down to the youngest siblings, you start to lose a couple along the way.
No, that's true. Actually, after the Khan, after Jagatai, it's only Chaos Primarchs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it goes after this. It's
they're all just mad that it took Daddy so long to find them.
Yeah. After this, it's Lorgar, then Mortarion, and then it's Jagatai.
Yeah.
And then I think it's Peter Turbo, Angron, Kurz, and then Alfarius. I think. But Alfarius is technically neither a traitor Primarch nor a loyalist Primarch, so...
But, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
But yeah, no, this is... Look forward to a lot of traitor Primarch talk after this.
Yeah.
Which means there's going to be a lot more interesting stuff.
Lovely. But yeah, today we are getting right into the Lion, Lionel Johnson.
Lionel Johnson, not to be mixed up with Lionel Johnson, which people seem to think his name is.
No, it is Lion space L' Johnson.
Yes, in his native tongue.
Yeah,
it means Lion of the Forest.
Yeah. The Lion, son of the forest.
Son of the forest.
Son of the forest.
Because of the sun at the end of Johnson.
John's son.
John's son, yes.
So is the forest the John part? Well, it must be, because lion is just lion.
Well, Calibanese doesn't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But, so he's the Primarch of the First Legion, the Dark Angels.
Mm-hmm.
And then following in order, he was the 11th of the Primarchs to be found.
Yes. Something I didn't realise that I didn't bring up from our last episode.
Yeah.
Sanguinius is the Primarch of the 9th Legion.
Yeah.
That was our 9th episode. It worked. It lined up so well.
Lovely.
Yeah. We would technically be, if the 2nd and the 11th weren't pulled out also, and if we hadn't have done the double episode with Fulgrim and Ferris, we would be lined up with our episode numbers would be lined up with how they were found.
Right. Yeah. Well, no, because we did the intro episode.
Yes, we did.
So we'd be one off.
We would be one off, yeah. So in that case, we would have been up to date now if we hadn't have combined Ferris and Fulgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have been going right alongside it.
Yeah.
But because we decided to combine Ferris and Fulgrim.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be more coincidences.
Dude, after we're done with the Primarchs, numbering doesn't matter anyway. So.
Right. No. Yeah.
And with the micro episodes that we're planning to do, it's gonna.
Yeah. Oh well. Either way, the Lion. So his homeworld was called Caliban, which we referred to a couple times last episode. Also.
Yes. Yeah.
So think it's just kind of a medieval planet.
Yeah, it's
they're going by feudal style. They're not tribes. They're not cities. It's feudal. So you've got your fortresses.
It's all kingdoms, separate kingdoms.
Yeah, it's all kingdoms.
I just finished listening to the
book.
The Fall of Angels.
The Fall. Okay.
I think is the name of the book, or it's the Descent of Angels. The Descent of Angels. Really boring. It's a really dull book. It's a lot of world building. It's a lot of world building in terms of things.
Okay.
But they orders. That's it. No. Nightly orders.
Yeah.
That's it. They had nightly orders.
Yes.
So all of their fortresses, all of their kingdoms were cut up into those nightly orders.
Yes. So you've got, your whole ranking of page, squire, all the way up the rankings, and then your knights and your kings and whatever.
Yeah. Well, no kings.
No kings.
No kings.
No kings.
Big no.
No. There's only one true king.
Yes.
The God King, God Emperor guy.
The silent king. I mean, the God Emperor.
There is no Palpatine Emperor that's also the Chancellor. That's not a thing. Yeah, we'll get into that at some point. But yeah, so Caliban is a feudal planet. It's
not a death world.
Not a death world.
It's not a death world.
No, it's imperial. It's colonized.
I can't remember. You keep chatting, and I'm going to look it up because it is. We've made this mistake before, and I really want to get it cleared up.
Yeah.
We have called death worlds something else, and I cannot remember what it's called. So I'm going to look up the classification of imperial worlds. You keep talking. I'm going to look that up quickly.
All right, I will lay out the scene then here. So this isn't like the worst of the like uninhabitable planets, but it's also not great either. We've got really thick, dense, dangerous forests, craggy, rocky mountains. So it's just kind of like Earth, but like take all of the geology and scale it up to deadly. Now, also, this planet is close to the Eye of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously going to have consequences. So all of the fauna, all of the animals on this planet have been mutated under the influence of Slaanesh.
Yes. Oh, Slaanesh, really?
I believe so. That's what I wrote down in my notes.
That's not me. That's not me. I'm like, really? No, that's like, it's like I did not know that they were influenced by Slaanesh.
I think that's what I specifically had written down. So I could be wrong. I could go check the notes, but that'll take a minute.
Yeah.
Either way, all of the animals are mutated by chaos to some degree, and they roam the forests and are really, really hard to kill. So they're just kind of terrorizing all the people on the planet. Mm-hmm. And there were also like bountiful resources on the planet.
Yeah, it was. Did you mention it was a forest world?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Big forest world. They had a lot of resources. They just couldn't get to them because of the geography and these great beasts. So that's kind of all I had really found on that. You got what you were looking for?
Yes. So to do that clarification, it's both a feudal world and a feral world.
Oh,
a feral world is one that has humans that aren't civilized,
right?
In that regard, but a feudal planet is also not civilized in the modern way,
right? So it's kind of civilized, but not quite. They're not industrialized.
Yeah. So it's like it's bordering on like feral to feudal is what I remember from like my research into it and everything like that. So yeah. Sorry for just disappearing for a second there while I looked that up.
Nope, that's all good. That's good to have that clarification. I got through all of the notes that I really had on how the planet was. Mm-hmm. I was just about to get into Lion actually arriving on the planet.
Real quick about the world and about the world of Caliban and stuff like that.
Yep.
Just to like give you a thing. They know of Terra.
Right.
They know of Terra. They know it exists, but it's a fairy tale.
Okay.
So it's a fairy tale and stuff like that. So all of the stuff that they know about technology and stuff like that becomes myth, becomes legend.
Mm.
So much so that when the Imperium arrives on Caliban, they think that the great beasts have awakened again because they see these huge ships flying overhead. And they think that they're great beasts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how feudal the world is.
Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to put that out there because in the book it's very unclear because they have like bolters and chainswords and stuff like that, but they don't have flying machines for some reason. Well, at least that's what's implied. But
okay. Yeah, that would be a little bit confusing.
Yeah. They also have guns too. It's really cool. Because they talk about how they're like armored up and they're like all knightly and stuff like that,
and then they've just got guns.
And there's the swords and stuff like that. There's a great bit. One of the more interesting books of the Descent of Angels.
Yeah.
A guy comes back from a hunt.
Right.
And he's dying. Like his guts are spilling out and like he's holding them in and stuff like that. The main character of the book, whose name escapes me because it was just so dull. I'm so getting dragged for this one. He gives him a gun. Like he gives him a gun, and the way they explain it, it's just a revolver.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's just like a bolter revolver is essentially what it is. Oh, no, it's not a bolter revolver because bolters are too big to be used by regular people, I think.
Okay. So this is just like a standard...
Well, it's imperialized. Like, it's an imperialized revolver. Well, a Warhammer-ified revolver. I shouldn't say imperialized revolver.
So it's more beefed out than
yeah,
what we would see day to day in real life.
Yeah.
But not quite as kitted out as
because they explain that it has like a magazine, but it also has like a revolving barrel of some kind attached to it. So all I can think is it just like revolves the bullets
halfway
into
between
the
a
thing.
machine gun and a revolver.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I also might have just completely miffed it because, like I said, I was paying no attention to that awful book.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Either way, so they're kind of in this weird in between state of like they're knightly but they have guns.
Yeah.
But yeah. Either way, so as with all of his brothers, Lionel Johnson comes shooting down. Now unnamed at this point, he's just a baby.
Yeah.
Comes shooting down in his pod and lands in the forest.
Yes.
Not to be found, and now there is some uncertainty here whether he was unfound for 10 years or 150.
Yes. And the main reason that they don't know how long he was in the forest is because he can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not that he won't tell anybody or that he, is just being a bit of a douche and being like, you don't want to know about my time in the forest. Yeah. He's just like, people ask him like, so what was it like being raised in the forest? And he's like, I just can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
he's
how
got
he
no
is.
clue. It was just so traumatizing, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, it could be one of many things. There was a lot of weird stuff going on in the forests of Caliban, so
and like with all of the warp beasts and being close to the Eye of Terror, whatever.
And it's implied that there are sections of the forests of Caliban before they got raised by the Imperium.
Yeah.
That were connected to the warp in some way.
Okay.
It's very heavily implied in the book that there is a warp connection inside the forests of Caliban. So he might have just been lost in a section of the forest that's connected to the warp.
Yeah.
And that might be the reason that he's just lost all memory of it because he just simply cannot comprehend what he went through.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he does raise himself in the forest the way that buddy guy that was raised in the mountain, the ice mountain that I can't...
Ferris?
Ferris,
yeah.
Yep. The way that Ferris raised himself in the mountain, sort of. Lion raised himself in the forest, and he became a very skilled hunter, and he became very quiet. He knew that he had to learn that being quiet was his survival.
Yeah.
And obviously it's going to be kill or be killed.
Yeah.
So he becomes like a shadow of the woods.
Yeah.
And I believe he sort of had a similar thing where like he kind of became an urban legend to the people, sort of.
Yeah, same thing as kind of Ferris did, yeah.
Yeah, but he eventually was found by a faction of one of the orders, which was aptly named...
The Order.
The Order. Yeah, so one of the bands of knights, and they found him, and they'd taken him down somehow, I think, and they thought that, like, they were ready to kill him because they could see how deadly he was.
Yeah.
They were ready to just put him out of commission.
Yeah. Well, at that point, he was animalistic.
Yeah.
And it's
just absolutely
feral, and it's a trait that stayed with him.
Yeah.
Like, it's a trait that stayed with him. I can't remember where it's from or what the description's from, but they talk about him in a meeting with his brothers and stuff like that. Yeah. And he's not sitting at the meeting like the rest of them are. He's kind of
like pacing in a corner.
Not yeah, he's in the rafters and he's just sat there. No, he's kind of pacing backwards and forwards as they're listening.
Right.
But he's not pacing like he's impatient or he's like raring to go. They describe it as like he's stalking the room. Like he's watching all of his brothers with the eyes of a predator.
Right.
Like he's watching them and trying to see what their next move is, what they're going to be saying, what they're going to be thinking, all that stuff. Yeah. He's literally analyzing and stalking the room the same way a predator was.
Yeah.
Like the lion is such an apt name for him because he just, everything he does is just like so just not animalistic, but it's like
he's a predator.
Exactly. It's refined. It's so refined that it can only be described as predatory.
Yeah. Like
you're actively being like pursued by something that's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Like it's like well, he is a bit of a genocidal maniac when it comes to planets. But it's like in every moment, in every conversation that you have with the Lion, if you're not one of his sons or one of his brothers, it feels like he is currently making the choice on whether or not you should live or die. Yeah. And it's amazing the way that they write him. He's the only good part of the book.
I mean, if the book's all about him, I'd hope so.
It's not about him.
It's not even about him.
It's not even about him. It's about the Dark Angels.
Yeah. I see.
The Lion's just there. That's another problem with the Horus Heresy books is unless they're like specific, unless it's like Fulgrim.
Yeah.
Unless it's like from the get go, it's specifically described as a book about a Primarch.
Yeah.
The Primarch's not in it that much.
Okay.
Like the first 3 books of the Horus Heresy, Horus is not there for a lot of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just actual like on the ground what's going on.
And that's another thing about the Horus Heresy books I do like is the fact that it's just they're talking about what's happening.
Yeah.
Not just like and Horus and Horus and Horus. It's
but
not
they're
all
talking
that.
about the war itself.
Yeah. Well, like just to go back to like the Fulgrim book and stuff like that, they talk about one of the Remembrancers that's on the like a sculptor Remembrancer that's on the ship that hid away that had no idea that the treachery was happening. And then when he comes out of his studio, he is shocked by what's happening on the ship because they've been actively turning to chaos this entire time he's been hidden away.
And he's just been working on
and he's just been working on a statue of the Emperor.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and he's like, what has happened? And
what is going on?
What is going on? And then Fulgrim's like chastising him for his sculpture and all that stuff. And then Fulgrim stabs him through the sculpture and leaves him hanging from the sculpture by a sword.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Fulgrim says, now it's perfect, and then leaves.
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Yeah, well, that same Remembrancer had also given Fulgrim some flack for his art being too perfect.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, because he had basically said there's no humanity in what you make. You're trying to make a perfect recreation. You're not trying to make art. Right. And Fulgrim had a hissy fit and was like, oh, I'll never make anything again. And then left. Anyway, back to the Lion.
Right, where were we?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Luther had found him.
Right. So he's found by the Knightly Order, and then we've got Luther, who was part of this expedition group. And Luther was like, yeah, no, let's take him. Mm-hmm. We got him now. He's ours.
Biggest mistake Luther could have made.
Yeah. Yeah.
According to himself.
Yes.
Yes.
Which we will see how that plays out as
time goes on.
As time goes on. But yeah, so Luther takes him in and they teach him Low Gothic and they tame the beast that he's become to a degree. Mm-hmm. He learns to refine his hunting. So that's where he goes from a feral predator to a refined calculating.
Yeah. He goes from a hunter to a warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Luther named him Lion L. Johnson, which, as we mentioned earlier, means the lion son of the forest.
Yes.
And that's within the Calibanite dialect of Low Gothic.
Mm-hmm. And they say Low Gothic and High Gothic and stuff like that. I like to think, because they talk about it later on in the same book, they talk about how one people knows High Gothic while the Calibanites know more Low Gothic.
Right.
When I'm reading it and like how I understand it, I like to think that the difference between High Gothic and Low Gothic is the difference between Latin and English.
Oh, okay.
Like High Gothic is Latin.
Yeah.
And then like Low Gothic is English.
Right.
Yeah.
I've kind of, in my own mind, I've been kind of playing it out as like High Gothic would be equivalent to like the very, very posh European.
Yeah.
And Low Gothic is more like Southern United States.
Yeah. I feel like it would be
more like Latin to English.
Well, I think it would be more like Latin to English, because then it gives you the understanding of how they can understand the orcs, because the orcs are all like they just released a new Christmas orc.
Yeah.
The Red Gobbo.
Lovely.
That's their version of Santa Claus, but they all talk like that. It's like, the Red Gobbo.
Yeah.
What is purple? Something good. Well, you ever seen a purple orc? That kind of thing. All talk like that, and it's like, that's why I think that like orcs.
It's like a lower version of Low Gothic.
Lower version of Low Gothic, and that's why I think there's the difference between the two and stuff like that. It also explained like the massive and huge overuse of Latin words in Warhammer.
That actually would also make sense. And because because Latin was so Latin is so pertinent in majority of languages now, it would make sense to kind of default back to that.
It would also explain why High Gothic is called High Gothic, because the Emperor's oldest sin, and he would have been around when Latin was the language.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he would have been around when Latin was, the language that everybody was speaking and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that would make sense as to why some of the names are the way they are. I mean, like, we finished recording the last episode, and I just kind of sat there for a second, and I was like, wait, sanguineous, sang is blood, French for blood. Like,
I mean, Dante is
Dante's just Dante.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that's Latin too, so yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so they give him a name, they teach him, they raise him up through the order, and of course, surprise, surprise, he races to the highest rank that he possibly can. So he's now made it to he's Sir Knightly Knight of all of the knights, if ever.
I can't remember. I think it's like the Master of the Order. I think is the highest rank that you can get in the orders of Caliban. I think
you can't be a king. You're just the master.
The master of the order, because like, as you were saying, it's a feudal state. The orders, the kingdoms are different orders and stuff like that. So they're all based on the master of the order and stuff like that.
Yeah. So he's now the highest lord, the highest knight, whatever, and he's like, he decides that his claim to fame, his first like big mission that he's going to take on himself, is to go back into the forest and work on eradicating all of those great beasts.
One really good part about this is Luther's jealousy is one of the things. We're going to talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But one of the first things that makes Luther jealous is that the lion kills one of the only Calibanite lions.
Oh.
Which are massive lions.
Yeah.
They are really, really huge lions, and they are aggressive. They have chitinous armor plating on them.
Oh.
That like moves and ripples and stuff like that. Like if you hit it with a gun at the correct angle, the bullet will ricochet off the armor.
Damn.
And the lion kills one of those. The character in the book, like in the Descent of Angels, he also kills the only other Calibanite lion.
Right.
Luther is not a happy puppy when that happens either.
That's fair. Because like if these was the armor a mutation, or were they just like that anyways?
It was just on the body.
Right.
It was like, think of not every animal, because there are some really weird ones. They like reptiles with tentacles is one of the things they explain. But like if any lion is like, a Calibanite wolf or a Calibanite lion or a Calibanite raptor, like it's most probably just that from our world, bigger with armor.
Okay.
And more teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That guy from the book also gets a sword made from a Calibanite lion's tooth.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that there were, well, like, obviously there's still going to be some regular animals that haven't been completely destroyed.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, they go out and it takes them like a couple of decades.
Oh, no.
No?
It takes them an decade. It takes them 10 years.
And 1 decade.
Yeah, which was longer than the lion wanted it to be. He wanted it to be 6 years.
Oh, okay.
But it took them a decade. But that was mostly due to infighting.
Fair enough. Because, all of these knightly orders, if anybody knows anything about the way that worked out in actual history.
Well, there was one lodge. I think it was the Lodge of the Wolf or something like that. And it was a big, 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 big thing in the book. But basically they go to war with them, like full-blown war with them.
Right.
And it turns out that the reason that it was taking so long, well, the implied reason it was taking so long for them to kill these great beasts is because the wolves, the Wolf Legion or whatever they are, were breeding the great beasts and keeping them back so they could keep the hunts going and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I guess like probably in the history of these orders living here, some of them probably are like, this is good sport and you can still eat mutated creatures.
It wasn't even the good sport thing.
Yeah.
His whole thing was like, what becomes of us knights when there are no beasts to hunt?
Right.
Yeah.
Because then people are just going to turn on each other.
It's like, and then it's just like, and then we're just fighting each other. It's like these beasts stop that from happening. These beasts ensure peace.
Yeah.
And he's not wrong, really.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, everything on Caliban, by the way, is a massive allegory for the galaxy.
The entire galaxy as a whole. Oh yeah, I guess I can kind of see that because it's kind of following.
Once Xenos and Chaos is gone, the Knights of the Astartes. What are the Astartes supposed to do once all of Chaos and the Xenos races are gone?
Yeah,
they just end up being law enforcement or just fighting in other people's wars.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's kind of how this whole planet goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is also a very Earth-like planet, so that is kind of a cool way to play that out.
Yeah. Well, was an Earth-like planet.
Was, yes.
Was, yeah. They fucking ruined it. Sorry, language.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after this decade of working on eradicating all these great beasts, they lost a lot of men, but the Lion, he was so set on doing this, his perseverance, his honor, his all this, it inspired everyone to continue this battle.
Yeah.
So then they did eventually succeed in eradicating the beasts.
Yes. Well,
almost.
You keep going, and then when we get to the Emperor turning up, I will tell you why it's almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they succeeded, but then I'm going to assume now, with the information that you've given about the wolves, possibly, if that was what they were, there was a couple of factions of the orders that didn't want to follow the Lion's lead.
That was that main legion. It was the main order of the order of the wolf, or whatever they were called. I can't remember what they were called. They were the only ones that were opposed to what the Lion was doing.
Yeah.
They were the only ones opposed to it. And then any loyalists from other knightly orders and stuff like that would go to the wolves and go in with them and just be like, no, I do not agree with what the Lion's doing.
Yeah.
So eventually on Caliban it became two factions, the factions of the Order and then the factions of the wolves, essentially.
Yeah. So upon this disagreement, this opposing force.
A disagreement is a massive understatement.
Yeah, that was the first word that I could come up with. But, with this facing this opposition, well, what does the Lion do? As many of his other brothers would have done.
He wipes them out.
Bye. They're gone.
Yeah.
So he absolutely decimates these people because they're not gonna see his way.
No.
So he gets rid of them.
Yeah.
And a note on the people of this planet. They're all very set and stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
They do not want to change.
No.
They do not want progression.
And that's what the Order was. The Order was a collection of those people that were the outliers.
Yes.
Those people that didn't agree with the ways of Caliban and everything like that. That's why they didn't like the Order, because they were like, they care not for tradition.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, likely if the planet had have stayed where it was, if the Lion didn't show up, they probably would have stayed feudal forever. They wouldn't have industrialized. They wouldn't have advanced.
Nope.
But so the Lion wipes out these people.
Yeah.
Because he's now saved the people from the plague of these great beasts. They're like, oh my God, you're the best. You're so great. You're amazing. You saved us. And he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He does not care. He saw that it needed to be done. He did it. He did his job.
Yeah.
And now he's getting praise. Yeah. Gross.
It's a great lament after all of this. He's standing at the top of like a tower and he's looking out to the stars, and his entire rant is just like, what if all of this was for nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, what if terror is just the myth it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Because he's the only person that's like immortal on the planet, so he's just like, I am alone here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no one who
understands me.
Yeah.
Until.
Well, there's a bit of context. He's getting all of this praise, and Luther by this point was his father and is now his second in command.
Yes, his brother.
They're
on they make a big thing of it. In the Order, there are no fathers or friends, or there are no fathers or friends or acquaintances. We are all brothers.
All brothers in arms.
Yes, we're all brothers in arms. They're all brothers.
Okay.
All brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Luther, who took him in and mentored him, well, now he's sitting in the Lion's shadow.
Yeah.
And the Lion's getting all this praise. They did this great conquest, and Luther's like, yeah, we did it. And all the praise is going to the Lion.
Yeah.
And the Lion doesn't want it. He's just brushing it off. And
Yeah.
Luther's just there like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Come on, we did a great thing.
The revels, man.
Like, revel in the glory.
We're supposed to be reveling.
They're the spoils of the winning the battle.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So Luther at this, like, he's probably, the jealousy has been festering, but this really sort of sets it in.
Yeah. It'd be like if your little brother became, like, more successful than you.
Yeah.
But you've been, like, trying really hard and everything
And
just
you've been
falls into their
helping
lap.
him. And you've been helping him the whole time, and you get none of the credit.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is the lion's personality is just very melancholy to begin with. Yeah. He doesn't care about anything. Remember how I told you earlier, I think it was around Lehman Russ, when I was telling you about how there were two Primarchs that just didn't give a flying when Horus became War Master.
Yeah.
And it was the Lion and Lehman.
Yeah.
That was kind of incorrect because the Lion was like, it should have been me, I'm the First Legion and stuff like that. But it was also like, well, what are you going to do? Anyway, because his whole thing is like, we have a job to do. Which is also the reason why the Lion and Lehman never fell to chaos.
Yeah.
Is because they were doing all this Lehman specifically was doing all this killing and having fun doing it. But he wasn't doing it for the bloodshed. He was doing it for the sport of it. And then the Lion isn't having fun when he does it. He just sees it as a job. Yeah. He's like, I have to do this, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Where...
Luther. Is that who you're looking for?
No, one of the other Primarchs that I think I did the episode on, and now I can't remember his name either. Yeah. The one who was a tool... The one who the Emperor...
Oh, Gilliman.
Gilliman, yeah. Where Gilliman was a tool derogatory, the Lion was a tool...
Positively.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Luther is, like, starting to, like... The jealousy is really setting in. A little bit of disdain, probably.
Well, they're two sides of the same coin, because the Lion is all, like, you know, prim and proper and order and stuff like that, and Luther is like, let's celebrate what we have done here, and the Lion's like, there's nothing worth celebrating until what needs to be done is done. Yeah. And that's the difference between the two of them. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's done this great thing for the people, and then the Emperor shows up and ruins everything.
Well,
just about.
One thing. This is why I said not quite with the Great Beasts.
Right.
From what I understand, there may be one left, or there might have been one left around this time.
Okay.
Because the Emperor shows up on the last great hunt.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they immediately go back to the keep, and there's no mention of the hunt continuing.
Okay.
Yes, there might be one great beast left on Caliban, or there might have been one beast left on Caliban. But...
Then the Emperor showed up, they killed it, and then.
Well, the Emperor didn't. The Emperor didn't kill it.
Oh, he just showed up.
They go back to the keep, and there's no mention of the great beast being slain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so he shows up, and you were saying that they kind of thought that, like, the great beasts were, like, back full force when the ships showed up.
Yeah, they were like one of the notes that one of the things that is said by one of these knights is like what was it? That's it. It's like, great beasts, I thought we had slain them all. That kind of thing. And then the Lion notices immediately what they are, because he's been studying literature and stuff like that, a whole bunch of books and everything. And Luther is like, come on, back to the keep. And they're like, what about the hunt? And he's like, no, the Lion has commanded that we return. And then that's a whole thing. So yeah, they're like, what is going on? Yeah. And they're mesmerized. They're like mesmerized by it, because they have logging machines that can take out an entire forest in a day. Yeah. And they're just mesmerized by it. They literally, there's a moment in the book where one of them's just standing on the edge of the keep watching them work, because they just find it so fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so Luther's getting jealous.
Yeah.
Because that they did the thing together. Yeah. And then the Emperor shows up and is like, hey, you're my son.
Yeah.
And that's really all there was to it. Like, there wasn't much fanfare. It was just, you're my son. Yeah. And the Lion's like, all right, cool. Yeah.
The Lion doesn't actually speak publicly about being the Emperor's son. Everybody knows that the Lion is the Emperor's son and stuff like that. But the Lion himself does not publicly talk about being the Emperor's son until they come to leave Caliban. It's amazing. He doesn't address that he's the Emperor's son. He's still the Lion of Caliban until he leaves Caliban. That's when in his mind he becomes the Emperor's son, is when he leaves Caliban. And up until he leaves Caliban, he is not the Emperor's son. He is the leader of Caliban.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, in his mind, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now the Lion is getting claimed as the son of the Emperor.
Yeah.
He's been given a legion. Luther is not happy.
No, he's not a happy boy.
Because Lion's just like, okay, cool, more job, more work to do. And Luther's like, this is a great honor.
Huh?
What is going on here? But yeah, and a note that I had here, somebody tried to kill the Emperor.
Yes.
When he showed up here, somebody tried to assassinate him. One of those Calibanite traditionalists.
Yeah, it's funny because in the book they talk about it as a whole big thing. There's a whole like secret meeting. And they're like, oh, we could kill the Emperor and everything would go back to normal. But the funny note to me is that the guy that tackles him and stops the guy that's trying to kill the Emperor from killing the Emperor. Yeah, they talk about landmines spilling out of his bag, but the dude that's doing it has no idea what a landmine looks out, so they over-explain a landmine in the book.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love when writers do that.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It's like, oh, a landmine, but these people wouldn't know what it is.
Yeah, so they have no idea what a landmine is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. But yeah, so obviously they don't succeed in killing the Emperor.
No.
But it was, again, it stemmed from that they didn't want the change to happen. They wanted to stop the change.
Yeah. Well, this is another thing as well, is like, as we've seen in previous Primarchs and stuff like that, when the Emperor is happy with how a world is done,
yeah,
he leaves it be. Mm-hmm. But the Emperor is also a petty man.
Yes.
So that one action of someone trying to kill him might have spurred on the great deforestation and resource extraction of Caliban.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things is like after this, it's genuinely like Caliban just gets completely deforested and turned into an industry planet.
Yeah.
And like, for all we know, that one thing that they were trying to stop happen, which was like the progress and stuff like that, was increased tenfold by them trying to kill the Emperor.
Yeah.
And it's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, because they turn it into an industry. They go and they take all of the resources and valuables and whatever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't quite happen right away.
Yeah.
Because first there's like Lion goes back to, I think they go back to Terra first.
They do.
Yeah, because his legion had been scattered all over the galaxy. So he goes back and reunites all of them, but also integrates the knightly orders of Caliban.
Yeah.
And he forms the Hexagrammaton factions, which include the Death Wing, the Raven Wing, the Dread Wing, Fire Wing, Iron Wing, and Storm Wing.
I think the Death Wing is something you can play on the tabletop. Don't hold me to that, but I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah. It might be. I think all 6 of those are sub-factions of the Dark Angels that you can play.
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe that at least that is words. That is how it was sort of explained. Like, they're all part of at the very least in the lore, they're all sub-factions of the Death Angels. Dark Angels. Yep. I was looking at Deathwing.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, so he goes back and he amalgamates everybody and then splits them up into those 6 sort of. And because of his very cold, reserved nature, because he knows the whole kill or be killed, whatever, the Emperor gives him the dirtiest of dirty work to do.
Okay, so the Deathwing are what they call their Terminators.
Okay.
I think. We'll look into it. When we start doing the legions, we'll talk about that sort of stuff, yeah.
Very good. But yeah, so he's given the terrible, horrible jobs. He deals with weaponry that is far
bad weaponry.
Big, yeah, the big bad scary guns.
Well, I found out something very recently about that I have just put together with what you just told me there.
Oh.
The Lion was responsible with destroying the worlds of the Chaos Primarchs.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because he also was responsible for dispatching any beasts that they came across that were too terrible to like scar anybody else with,
Yeah.
because like he's so cold
Yeah.
in the darkness and resolve of the forest, having raised him, that he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He can't be scarred any more than he already is.
Yeah.
So he's wiping out things left, right, and center, and right, as well as he was bringing all of his legions back together, he would personally fight the leader of each unit to make sure that they were up to snuff.
Huh.
He would go to blows with his men to make sure that they were going to be able to hold a candle to him.
Damn.
Or hold a match to him.
The Lion's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I see why they brought him back.
Yeah. He's just an absolute unit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then he was working on his legions, yada yada. And then the Emperor's like, hey, let's go on this special mission.
Yeah.
And they're trying to bring the planet Molech into compliance.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it was already under the Imperium, but they started to rebel.
Yeah.
While they were there, the Emperor disappears into the webway because there's a gate on this planet.
Oh.
So the Emperor goes in to find his own knowledge here.
Yeah.
And I thought that I had written down who else went, but it looks like I did not.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember exactly what it is, but he goes and has a chat with Chaos, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think he told the Primarch something else.
Yeah.
And then he went in to make a deal with the Chaos Gods.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Or the demons or whatever.
This dude needs to stop making deals with the Chaos Gods.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But then he came out of this gate and he wiped his son's memories of the entire planet, the entire mission.
Oh.
So...
What a douche.
Yeah. I don't remember it because I was reading stuff about the Lion. I didn't get into very much of what he was actually trying to do or what he found out. But yeah, he, like... memory's gone.
Yeah.
So nobody remembers going to Molech.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they probably just nuked the entire planet as they left.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the last sort of thing that happened before the Lion went back to Caliban was the Rangdan Xenocides, which was great battle. I wrote down that it was in 2 parts, but I believe it was actually in 3.
Yeah.
And it was multiple different kinds of this same sort of family of Xenos. And it was one of the most horrible, bloody battles to happen before during the Great Crusade.
Yeah.
And they do win eventually, but the Dark Angels are down to a very minimal number now.
Yeah.
So that's what prompts the Lion to return to Caliban. And this is when they bring in the mass machines to raise the forests, start mining everything, and turn it into a big factory.
And I think they had the aspirants and stuff like that in their initiations while the Lion was off planet with the Emperor.
I believe
they had them. They weren't exactly training them at this point.
Yeah,
they were going over what they already knew, essentially being like, how much do these young men know about fighting? How much are they like? Yeah. How strong are they, or are they already? Are they good enough to be Astartes?
Yes.
I think that's what that was happening while Russ was off the planet.
Yeah.
And
preliminary.
I think what really spurred it on was like half the Legion's gone now. Yeah. We need aspirants now.
Over half. Like they're down to a very minuscule number.
Are we talking like Emperor's Children numbers here?
Not that low.
Oh, okay.
Not that
I was gonna say, woof, that's bad. But yeah.
But
are we talking like Vulcan numbers where they were like almost down to like nothing, like 9,000, like 22,000 kind of thing, or are we talking lower than that?
Let's see, let me check my notes.
I think I see it there. Yeah,
this is 5,000, but that was the Space Wolves.
Oh, is it the next part underneath it there?
Most likely. The third Xenocide resulted in the loss of the lives of 50,000 Dark Angel Space Marines.
Okay, that's about half a Legion.
Okay.
Well, no, I was about to say, that's about half of a fully bolstered Legion. A fully bolstered Legion would sit around about 100,000 Astartes.
Yeah.
So they're probably not at full strength already.
Yeah.
So they just lost 50,000. So they lost literally what would be half of a Legion to another set of people. That's insane.
Yeah. The Dark Angels were at 1/10 of their original number. They lost 9/10 of them.
9/10? 50. They had 55,000 Astartes, and then they lost 50,000 and went down to 5,000 Astartes.
Yeah.
That's less than the lowest number that Vulcan had.
Yeah. So they're small. So then they go back, and so then they're really getting in on the industrialization of this planet, and then the aspirants are actually starting the initiation. And similar to with Sanguinius, how his closest men were upgraded, shall we say. The Lion, all of the highest ranking members of his close order, the first being Luther, they were obviously too old to benefit from the gene seed, but they were still altered, improved. They were given the extra organs. They were given the physical upgrades, mental upgrades, everything that they could do except for the gene seed. Yeah. And then the kids are going through this too, so they're bolstering the ranks. They're getting back up to numbers.
And then they head off back into the galaxy.
Yeah.
I see you have the Russ.
Yes.
The Russ thing here again. I love this note.
Yeah, I think we did
we talked about this when we went down the Russ thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But from the Lion's perspective now, so this was on the planet Dulin.
Yeah.
And just a quick refresh, the ruler of the planet had insulted Russ by calling him the Emperor's lapdog, and Russ swore that he was going to kill this dude.
Which he is.
He is. Yeah. This guy wasn't wrong.
Russ literally has that dog in him. He has dog DNA in him.
He's literally
part hound.
He's literally just daddy's little dog boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Lion had already carefully planned out this attack.
Yeah.
He had already
he'd planned every moment of what happened.
Every minuscule detail.
Yeah. And if he had waited at any point during his plan, the entire thing would have failed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even bother saying anything to Russ.
Yeah.
He knows that that's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So he just continues on with his plan.
Yeah.
And then, goes ahead and kills the dude, Durath was his name, in front of Russ. Because he wasn't going to let his plan go to waste.
Yeah.
So then they have the whole fight for the full solar day and night. And
it's one week on Dulin too.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's 24 hours, 24 hours, solar day and night, blah, blah, blah,
standard
blah.
hours, whatever.
But like night and day is just going past as these guys are fighting for on Dulin. It's a 1 week fight.
Yep. And Russ ended up calling the stalemate. And I think there was something, I can't remember if Russ said something right at the end.
Right at the end, Russ got to a point where he was like, "This is dumb."
Yeah.
Basically, he was like,
"This is dumb." Calls a stalemate.
Yeah, and he started laughing.
Yeah.
He started laughing, being like, "This is ridiculous," laughing like that. And then the Lion saw it as an insult, and he just decked him,
knocks him out, and leaves.
Yeah. Which was also a huge insult to the Lion.
Yes.
Because from the Lion's, Russ. I mean, huge insult to Russ, because from Russ's perspective, the Lion didn't have the good grace to, be like, I got you. Maybe next time, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was no camaraderie in what he had done. It was just vicious from Russ's perspective.
Yeah, and from the Lion's perspective, Russ is a hot-headed idiot.
Yeah.
And he's done and fed up.
Yeah. Well, from the Lion's perspective, he probably knocked him out because it wasted the Lion's time.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's probably like, this has been a waste of my time. Poof, and then knocked him out.
Good night. I'm going to keep going on my...
Yeah, I have stuff to do.
I have a job to do here.
Yeah.
But so that happens, and then the next sort of important bit is Sarash.
Oh, God, yeah, Sarash.
The Lion gets a call from Jagatai Khan to go and help on Sarash.
Jagatai Khan at this point is practically begging the Lion to help him with Sarash.
Yeah.
Because Sarash, they have been trying to bring Sarash into compliance for months.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do it politically.
Yes.
And that's the issue.
And the people, from what I read, the people they didn't necessarily want to, but they had expressed interest in joining the Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all secretly worshipping chaos.
Well, that's the thing as well, is this is probably all around the heresy time.
Yeah.
So, and this is the thing, and I'm realizing it now, and I really should have before I said the book was stupid, because this is genius. is if this is what I think it is, this was Chaos trying to keep the Lion and Jagatai Khan away from Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was basically their whole plan was to get them to a point where they were like, come on, what are you doing? We need compliance now. And then they would be like, well, Chaos.
Yeah.
And that I looking back at it now is like, that's genius.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because from what I read, they were secretly worshiping Chaos and they were just trying to cause issues.
Yeah.
They were trying to like get in but make it be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But then once they would have, if they had have gotten in,
yeah,
then they would have caused further issues from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, while they're on there's a ship that they all end up on at one point.
Yeah.
And there's
this is the
or they're on the planet or something.
No, they're on the ship.
Yeah.
And this moment that you're talking about is they are the Shirashi are making it seem like this is the final negotiation.
Yes.
We're ready to become compliant. That's what they're seeming. It's like that's why everybody's guard down.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, finally, after months and months of working, we're going to get these guys into compliance.
Yeah.
So, however, somebody had snuck a nuclear bomb onto the ship that they were going to use to try to take out the Lion.
Mm-hmm.
And they were hiding somewhere getting ready, and Luther and a librarian stumbled upon this group, or they stumbled across the bomb.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah. Well, this is actually the really interesting and good part. Yeah. The guy that was doing negotiations was egging the Lion on.
Yeah.
It was a dead man switch.
Yeah.
So when the Lion killed that guy, because the dude was just insulting the Imperium.
Yeah.
And it got to a point where the dude was literally like, I spit on your Emperor.
Yeah. And
the Lion was just like, yeah, no, I'm having none of that. Cleaved the guy in two, and as he cleaves that guy in two, the bomb is armed and ready to go off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It was
well, cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well,
they also eject the nuclear bomb into space, and it goes off, and like it shatters windows.
Yeah.
And the librarian that you talk about there, the guy that discovered Luther not so much, but the librarian that discovered it, like gets burnt to shit.
Yeah.
Gets really burnt up.
Yeah.
After it's done, because it was like literally right outside the bay. The nuke went off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like if it was like on the ocean, the boat would have tipped nearly into like completely capsizing. That's how powerful the explosion, how close it was to the ship.
Insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Luther and this librarian find it, and Luther has a hesitation. Because of all this time, he's had this jealousy, this disdain, what's the word? Not quite hatred, but the...
God, I know exactly the word you mean, and I can't even think of what it means.
He's starting to despise...
Yeah, despise. Disdain.
Yeah. He's holding a lot of disdain
and
for
envy.
the Lion.
Yeah.
And for a second, he's like, I could just let this bomb go off.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. In the book, he's like... What he says to the librarian when the librarian finds the bomb is like, the librarian's like, why didn't you disarm the bomb?
Yeah.
And the Luther's like, I saw everything that the Lion had, and I could see it being mine.
Yeah.
But I couldn't bring myself to letting it happen.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much of the dude has like a split thing on how much he hates the Lion.
Like his own emotions, his own whatever, but also that is his brother.
Yeah.
To a degree still. So, yeah, Luther does help the librarian shove the bomb out into space. Mm-hmm. And then that was kind of that.
Yeah.
And then we're getting to the end of the Great Crusade.
Yeah.
And
well, that might have also happened post end of Great Crusade. It's kind of unclear where it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the order of shit that happens in the order of stuff that happens during Warhammer, especially heresy time, is very unclear.
Yes.
Except for when it gets extremely clear, and then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's out on his missions, and he was kind of expecting to become the War Master because he's the Primarch of the
First Legion.
The First Legion, but he's doing all the dirty work. He's taking care of the horrors that no one else can fathom.
He is quite literally like the front of he is the first line in the battle. Yeah.
So the thing is, though, is that he lacked Horus's charisma. Yeah. And that was because he's cold and people wouldn't trust him. Yeah. That's why he didn't make the cut.
Well, that's one thing I always do mention about Horus, was how he could so easily sway people with his words.
Exactly. Yeah. And the Lions got none of that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the time. Yeah. He hears that Horus was given title of the War Master, and he just kept doing what he was doing. Yeah. He kept on keeping on. Yeah.
It's like what we were mentioning earlier. He's just like, I have a job to do.
He's got a job to do. Yeah. It doesn't affect the course. It doesn't alter the course of his mission. He's just gonna keep going. And he didn't even bother to send home congratulations.
Oh yeah, no.
Which, like, you know.
Yeah, at least Russ was there.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, he just kept on going and
kept on keeping on.
Yeah. And that's
the end of the Lion for now.
That's the end of all of my notes, unless you had any other.
No, you pretty much covered it all. Sweet. We'll say that he is one of the only 2 loyalist Primarchs that are currently awake and kicking. Yes. In the Warhammer world, the rest of them are lost. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. It shows how awesome that everyone thinks the Lion is. But yeah, a lot of the Lion stuff comes post heresy. Yeah. So, which is weird. Like, I don't mean post-heresy in like the 10,000 years, like 41st millennium kind of stuff. I mean, like, literally all of the stuff about the Lion that's pretty cool happens just after the heresy.
Wonderful.
Yeah. But anyway.
But we'll get to that after we do our heresy
we will.
arc. I don't know why that was so pronounced the way that I said
heresy
that.
Arc.
Heresy arc.
Yeah.
But yeah. That brings us to the end of this episode.
So thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Follow us on Spotify. Download the podcast, please. Go subscribe on YouTube. Go watch us on YouTube and stuff like that. Like I said at the top of the episode, I believe we've got some more projects in the work. Little 10-minute tidbit episodes here for you that'll just give you a little bit of information on the stuff that doesn't warrant a full hour, 40 minute to hour long podcast. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, we should have the Instagram up and running by this point for...
I believe it will be.
Reminder, like updates for what we're posting, little tidbits, teasers, whatever, if we're referencing memes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, teasers especially when it gets to the point where we're like, what's going to be next week kind of thing.
Yeah, because right now we're definitely following a set plan, getting through all the Primarchs and whatnot. But I'm going to assume once we get into the heresy, it's going to be a bit more.
I have some ideas, and like I said, like I'm going to be taking the brunt of the heresy action. Yeah. Just because it's really complicated. I already know where everything connects. Yeah. And it's easier for me to do all of that connection than it is for you to be like, but yeah. So yeah, no, for you, it's going to be a lot more of a, for you and for the people at home, it's going to be a lot more of a, so this is what we're learning this week kind of thing.
Exactly. It'll be just as much as a surprise to me as it is to you guys. But then I'll start having more stuff on like the Xenos when we get after that. Yeah. I'll kind of take the lead on stuff about the Drakari, etc. Yeah. Probably when we're starting to talk about stuff about the planets and all that good stuff.
I'll be talking mostly about Chaos Legions and Space Marine Legions and stuff like that. Yeah. About the Chaos Gods, because God, they're cool. Yes. Sorry, that's heresy. I can't say
it. All good. But yeah, we've ended up on a bit of a tangent here.
Yeah, again. That's us.
Yeah. That is what we do. We're just 2 dudes in a garage talking about something that we like.
That's true. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching.
Yeah, and thank you for tuning in again, and we'll
see you next time.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.